Welcome back to Faces and Places. Across the United States, this week's guest is Yanick talking to Sandra. Welcome back, Sandra.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our web chat, Faces and Places Across the United States. My name is Sandra, and I'll be your host today. Today, I'll be talking to our guest, Yanick. Hi, Yanick.
Hello, hello. How are you?
I'm good. I'm doing really well. Thank you for being here. It's wonderful to have you here in our American English at State Facebook page. And we are delighted that you have joined us for this web chat. Before we begin, let's ask our audience, where are they joining us from today? Please let us know in the comments box. Yanick, thanks again for being here. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? Where are you today?
I am in Florida in the United States. I am here largely because of COVID. My preference would be to be somewhere else where I could teach and continue some of the work I was doing in other countries, but it's safer now to be in Florida, which is my home. It has been my home for a good long time whenever I'm not in another country.
And how's the weather there today? I heard there's been some rain.
Yeah, we've had a lot of rain, and the flooding is worse than I've seen before. Usually rain is okay, and after a few hours it's gone, but now there's huge areas where cars and walking are almost impossible.
Wow, yeah, I know. I heard about that and I thought, oh, it's not going to be sunny Florida today.
Yeah. Well, we've got sunshine, but probably rain in a short time.
Yes, that's true. Okay, so you are from another place though. So you are in Florida, but where are you
Yeah.
from?
Well, I was born in Haiti and grew up in Washington, D.C., and then have moved around to a number of countries. And as I say, Florida, sort of my place to come back every time I am finished with one kind of work.
I want to tell you where people are joining us from today. We have Safar saying hello from Pakistan. We also have Karima saying hello from Algeria. We have Nasari saying hello from Argentina. We also have Andre saying hello from Madagascar. We have Alfonso saying hello from Chile. We have Hosanna saying hello from the Philippines. Abir from Tunisia. We also have Yernik from Kazakhstan. We have Anir from Malaysia, and also Mary from Tampico, Mexico, and also Ha saying hello from Vietnam, just to name a few.
Ah,
So we have people
wow.
all over the world
Everywhere.
watching you today. We are
Yes,
very happy,
absolutely.
yeah, that they're here today. We also have people from Bangladesh. So you told us that you are from Haiti,
Right.
but you now live in Florida. Where else have you lived other than these places?
Well, I love to travel. I love to travel, and I am a teacher. So whenever I could take advantage of an opportunity to go teach in another country, I did. So most of my teaching has been in the US, but I was born in Haiti, left and went back. So I've taught also in Haiti, in Central America. I was in El Salvador for a while. I've lived in several parts of Africa, in Liberia, in Rwanda, in Mauritania, in Senegal, in Asia. I lived in China and in Vietnam. So, like I say, I love to travel. And when I can teach somewhere else, it's been a great opportunity.
Wow, you lived everywhere. So we asked our Facebook viewers to share with us what they think about families or if they had any questions for you. And we had some answers. I think we have a slide with some of these questions. So we have Danielle saying, thank you very much for arranging this session. My question for Yannick is, what is your advice for those who want to come and live in Florida? So maybe we'll get to that later. Also, we have Hasmik saying, who is the most important person in your family? You love them all, but do you have a favorite? And we also have Karima um, shouting out for us, saying that she loves this show. And on the next slide, we also have Aura saying, hello, and how is your family? Is it big? Who is the member of your family you spend the most time with? We also have Frida asking, What do you enjoy doing with your family? We have Carla asking, how important is your family and how long do you live with them? And Lupita from Mexico saying, what did you like about your family? And is your family big or small? So many families are big and many families are small, and every family is different and unique. So I have some questions for you. Could you describe your family? Who does it include?
Well, when I was a child, my family included my mother and father, and I have three brothers and I have two sisters. And then, of course, over time, the family grows. So there are husbands and wives of the brothers and sisters and nieces and nephews. And my immediate family, my nuclear family, consists of myself, one son, one daughter. So, but
Wow.
we are still all connected, all of the cousins and all of the relatives who are far away. We still stay in touch.
Yes, you mentioned that you moved to Washington in 1956. Can you tell
Mhm.
us a little bit about your family in Washington?
Well, when I moved, it was a small or smaller. You know, in US, when someone says a small family, they sometimes mean only two or three people. So there were five of us when we moved, one brother, one sister, and my parents. And over time, we lived in Washington more than 20 years. So eventually there were three more children. Yes, and Washington, oh, and you could see the picture. And this is such a great picture. Washington, oh, probably still my favorite city in the world. I know it better than anywhere else, I think, but there's just so much in Washington. It's such diversity and so many opportunities of places to visit. Washington should be high on anyone's list as a place you would like to go.
I agree with you. Living here in Washington, D.C. for the past 20 years, I absolutely love it here. So, how do you think your family is different from other American families, or how are they the same?
Well, US is so different, one place to another, one group to another. So I can't say just categorically that it's only this way in US. But I think in general, my family is larger than many American families because there were six of us children, and all six of us are still very much in touch, very connected to each other. I'm so happy for modern media that allows us to stay in touch. So in that way, we are maybe a little bit different, that we continue to keep strong binds between us or among us. And it's important to us. Anytime someone has been a little bit away for a while, a little bit away from being in touch, somebody's going to call and say, "What's going on? Tell us, don't let us think that something is wrong with you."
They will be checking with you.
Absolutely.
So you described to me about your family and living in Washington, D.C., and how many visitors you have. Can you describe a special tradition you share with your family as a child? Or what happened during those times?
Well, because Washington was such a popular place to visit, anyone who could would come to Washington. So many uncles and aunts and friends and more distant people would come. They had a place to stay. It's always nice if you can visit and have a home to give you a bed and your food, and then visiting in Washington. In this picture, you can see some of the great places downtown Washington. It's also a big advantage. Many places to visit, many places close together, many museums and art galleries. The weather is beautiful in the summer. You can see how green it is, how easy it is to just relax and enjoy it. So winter is for those who like the cold. It's a different experience. I'm one who does not love the cold. I like to be warm. Washington, a great place to visit. So we had many people coming.
Yes, it is definitely a great place, and you can enjoy a lot of museums all in one place. Can you tell us a little bit about your favorite place in Washington, D.C.? I think
It,
we have a
yeah,
sneak peek preview here of
yeah,
the place.
yeah.
Can you tell us about it?
For a few years, the house we lived in was very close to the zoo. So I would go to the zoo very easily. Probably like 5 or 10 minutes because we didn't even have to go on major streets to get to the zoo. We could use little back way and through people's yards, and we would be at the zoo. And the zoo is large. It has every animal you can imagine. So walking around the zoo, enjoying the zoo, seeing different animals and making yourself aware of the ways that animals live and the different of the way they look, so many different countries, so many different climates. Zoo is a great place to visit.
It definitely is beautiful, and I love to go and see the panda bears.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're just joining us, we are talking to Yanick, who is currently in Florida, but she is from Haiti and grew up in Washington, D.C. She's talking to us today about her family. So, what is a memorable lesson you learned from your parents or your grandparents or somebody in your family? What did they teach you?
Because we were receiving so many visitors, but well, I first my parents always welcomed them, so they would continue to come and tell others. So that gave me very early the sense that we have things to share, and when you have certain privileges, certain opportunities, then you have a responsibility to others. So if we can share, if we can allow others a chance to see something new, if we can help in some way, and there's always a way to help. Everyone can do something to help others. So that was a big lesson to me, that you share, that you give back, because you would come into the world with nothing, but you come with certain opportunities, you come with gifts, you come with different personality. So sharing is very important to my family's traditions, to my family's, I would even say virtues, to feel that,
Yes.
that's important.
And one of the things that we share with our families is food. So I want to ask you, what is your favorite food from Haiti, and from the food that your family prepared when you were growing up?
Yeah, and I had mentioned before, I don't prepare food. I never become a big cook. I cook when I must, but I enjoy food and enjoy eating wherever I am, the traditional food. And in the pictures here, there's some food of Haiti, and of course, everyone has their own recipe, so it doesn't always look exactly the same. But rice and beans is still probably number one for me, and it's healthy. You get the protein and you get the goodness of vitamins and minerals from it. So it's easy to indulge in that. But as I say,
Okay.
I'm so happy that there are many places in modern times where you can go visit and find food, where there are places that you can go buy your food and enjoy different cooking, different flavors.
Yes, that looks really tasty. So we have a lot of questions from our audience. I'm gonna try to go through some of them. We have Hector asking, how long have you been a teacher?
Forever, forever. When I went back to think of that, I was talking to someone a few years ago without even expecting that it was true. When I was a child, I was always teaching younger people. When I was in high school, we had a neighbor who asked me to help a younger child who was having difficulty in school. So it wasn't formal teaching, but I was teaching small ways. And then when I went to the university, my mother encouraged me to go into teaching. She thought it was something very stable with good security. And I didn't think it would be a big deal, but once I got started teaching, it is my passion.
I have a really good question here for you from Safar. Safar is asking, did your grandparents tell you stories when you were a child about your country?
Yeah, because I didn't grow up with my grandparents, I would only see them on visits, so maybe a few days or a few weeks. So the stories were occasionally there were stories that they would tell. Yeah, and they encouraged me to do a lot of reading. So I would read history, I would read folklore and stories from books as much as things they would tell me.
Yeah, so we have a question from Abdul. Now that you mentioned books, do you have a favorite book or a favorite type of literature that you read?
I read a lot of things that are not one genre, but a variety. Uh, but maybe my favorites are biographies. When I read the life of someone who has been able to accomplish certain things, it inspires me. It gives me the opportunity to see it, as biographies and autobiographies, not only what people did, but how they were thinking, how they had an impact on others. What are the things that impacted them and led them to the directions they wanted to go? So biographies are big. A lot of novels, so fiction for relaxation reading. Yeah.
Yeah, so the first, I asked you a question earlier. Maybe we can answer it now. Who is your favorite in your family? Do you have a
Uh,
favorite?
and I do agree that it is difficult to choose a favorite. And my feeling is that there is not one favorite all the time. If something special has happened, if you have had good time with one particular person, that person is kind of on the top for the favorite list for a while, and then it will change. Someone else will become a favorite, or someone who you feel needs to get support, needs to have some help. So it can
Yeah, so
change
it
for a few
changes.
days or even a few months.
It changes, but you can love them all. Okay, I
Oh,
think I have time for one more question. This is Irene Okitani saying, can you give us 3 words about your family? 3 words that describe your family.
3 words: laughter, laughter, uh, affection. And COVID, you can't even hug people too much, and I don't see them very much. But affection is important to me and my family, and support. That if anything happens, they are there to take care of each other.
Very nice. So I just want to end by saying that tomorrow is Veterans Day, and we want to thank all of our servicemen and women who have given their lives and who have spent a lot of time away from their families supporting our country. So thank you to all the veterans out there. We are honoring you tomorrow, November 11th. So Yannick, our time is up already. I cannot believe it went by so fast. We have a lot of questions. Maybe we can get to some of them later on Facebook. But we want to thank you so much for your time this morning.
I thank you. I thank you. That was very enjoyable. I wish we could interact with the people who are watching and get to more questions. So it's been good that we could have this much.
Yes, exactly. So, and I want to thank all our audience members who are engaging with us today. Please continue to do so. You can check our resources on our American English website, americanenglish.state.gov, also in our YouTube channel and or our Facebook page. Don't forget to continue to be engaged and leave us your comments and your questions, and we'll try to get to some of them. Thanks again, everyone, for joining us. And thank you, Yannick. Have a
Thank
lovely rest
you.
of your week. It was great to have you here, Yannick.
I appreciate the invitation and certainly enjoyed it.
And don't forget to come again in a couple of weeks for our next episode of Faces and Places across the United States. We encourage you to continue to engage with our community virtually, and just like you are right now. Bye-bye, everybody. Thanks for watching.